it's one thing to talk about patient-driven care, and I'm sure as a doctor, as a practice, you would have had many conversations about that. But let's take it one step further and introduce the concept of patient-driven marketing. Yes, that's right. So marketing content that is not driven by you, the expert, the doctor, the specialist, or your team, but it's driven by the patient. So what do I mean by that? Let me just unpack that for you. And of course, this ties in with recent evolutions in, well, just society as a whole, where more of us spend time on our digital devices, and that includes checking out the medical specialist you're about to choose. So we know that more than 1 in 2, so more than 50% of Australian consumers will spend time on their mobile checking out the specialist doctor before giving in or before saying yes to a GP referral. So they will do their research, they will check you out and shop around, and they may take the referral to your competitor down the road. So that's why this is important. So what is patient-driven marketing? Let me introduce you that concept. This is keyword research. So keyword research might be a new area for you. It is actually a technique and a tactic that allows us to map the exact volumes of traffic that are attracted by specific keyword searches. So let me rephrase that. So we can actually know what your patients are Googling for. If you are in bariatric surgery, then we can map the volumes of Australian search operations on Google by patients for these specific topics, whether it's gastric sleeve or weight loss surgery or diet after surgery. But this goes really, really into an in-depth level for any medical specialty. So by mapping these volumes, we can then make decisions about the content that is needed to cut through the noise and make your practice stand out. So that is why it's patient-driven marketing. So it's not what you think is a great idea to put on your website. It's based on this data, based on that information. And the next step is to then go, well, what do we need? What content do we put on the actual pages? And on the left, you can see a typical web page on antenatal care. So that's what the patient would see before they start scrolling down and browsing through the information. And on the right is what Google sees, the entire page as a whole in just microseconds. It sees the paragraph headers, the information in each of the paragraphs, even the names of the images, the labels of the images, the way the information is made accessible, is made palatable, and is presented to the consumer, your future patient. So this all ties in together when we build each paragraph based on that keyword research. We know what patients Google for. We write a paragraph, or we co-produce a paragraph with you on that topic, on that specific page that we know patients are looking for. So that's where you create spectacular results. That is where you make a brilliant change to your private practice. And these are just some examples of what that does to your traffic. These numbers, this is data extracted from Google Analytics, measuring the number of visitors on some of our top customers' websites, going from 170 monthly visitors to over 3,000, from 2,000 to 8,000, from 1,200 to 5,700. So these increases in traffic, they are not just fancy data to show you at the end of the month and say, hey, we've got a lot of traffic. These numbers affect your bottom line. Why is that? Because we started with a patient-driven set of data. We started building the content based on what patients told us they were Googling for. So we extracted the data, built the content, and then saw that increase in visibility. And that is why we introduced that concept of not just patient-driven care, which is something you will excel at, you and your team, but also patient-driven marketing. If you give the patient what they're looking for, you get more traffic, you get more conversions, and there you are, building a successful private practice.